Look, Ray, let's not do nothing stupid.
Hey, look, Ray, we'll make a new deal, whatever make you happy.
Hey, you wanna get high, man?
Damn, I was in that shit, man. I never had no dope like that before in my life, man. That's the heaviest shit I ever smoked, man. I mean, I smoked a lot of shit before, man. But goddamn, man, that's heavy shit.
You okay?
I can't breathe.
Listen, man.
I can't.
Look, Ray, let's not do nothing stupid.
Hot mic. We got a hot mic here? Hot mic, guys?
Deuxième son.
Excuse me? Who are all these people?
Troisième son.
Excuse me again, sir. They're here.
Quatrième son, c'est la même chose. Le cinquième qui est le dernier. And now, tous les sons ensemble.
Who is that? Come on in.
Okay. Start with the tone.
Look at that.
Tang. Go. Up a full tone. Down a major third.
Down a major third.
Now drop an octave.
Cool blue.
Go. Up a perfect fifth.
Of a perfect fifth.
Nothing at all.
The aliens are here, you guys. We'll get into it. On this episode of the CannaShow, are they here? Are they balloons? What did they see? Hold on, you guys. We gotta finish calling them. UFOs. You guys, they finally admitted to what is the wreckage. You know, they've been looking for it for 6-7 days now. We'll get into the whole show, the CannaShow. The aliens, the UFOs, the wreckage, the pilots, Pentagon, what Joe said. We'll get into everything. This is the hard-hitting news version of the CannaShow. All right, guys. Enough messing around. Welcome back to the show with me, Raymond Vernon, Parton III, here on the YouTubes with our brand new co-host. Let's go over to him right now. Brand new co-host. How you guys doing over there? That's Mr. Bungle. That's Finley. And the other one is Cheeto Santino. We named him after Cheeto Santino because he's all red and he's a bully. No, so that's Cheeto, Mr. Bungle, and Finley. The new addition to the show. More importantly, you guys, let's start off the show the right way.
Look, Ray, let's not do nothing stupid.
Hey, look, Ray, we'll make a new deal, whatever make you happy.
Hey, you wanna get high, man?
Damn, I was in that shit, man. I never had no dope like that before in my life, man. That's the heaviest shit I ever smoked, man.
All right,
I mean,
we'll
I
go to
smoked
this
a lot
one.
of shit before, man. But goddamn, man, that's heavy shit.
We're
You
going to
okay?
get right into it.
I can't breathe.
Listen, man.
I can't breathe, man.
We're just right here. Hey, man. Hey, I got something to mail you out, man. You're just freaking out. Yeah.
There's so many of these. There's just like, all right, so we'll start it right here.
Day.
The size of it. It's just so slow and so small and you can't see it.
In the audio recording verified by the Air Force, the Air National Guard pilots whizzing past the object, trying to avoid a collision and struggling to describe their target.
So I'm going to call it like a container. I can't really tell, though, what the shape is. Definitely smaller than a car.
Sometime later, the fighter jets launched a $500,000 missile at the object and missed.
And they
In this
missed
case,
it.
the missile landed harmlessly in the water of Lake Huron.
One of the pilots said that it moved just like this, right out of the way. They said it has a propulsion system not of this planet. You guys scared yet?
We tracked it all the way down.
A second missile hit the object. The wreckage remains at the bottom of Lake Huron. The two other objects shot down over the last 5 days in Alaska and Canada have also yet to be retrieved. But today, the White House saying the intelligence community's leading explanation is that the objects...
All right. And that's what I'm going to talk about in the show. And I don't know anything about anything. I'm just doing this show so all you people who go to work every day of the week who have no idea about these UFOs, people are like, Ray, shut up. There's no UFOs. There's UFOs. They're calling them UFOs. They've said it so many times on the news now that you're not even fucking worried about it anymore. It's the same thing. This is what I said. It was the same thing with school shootings. By the 10th one, you're like, oh, yeah, they're doing school shootings again this season. It's the same thing with UFOs. By the 15th or 21, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, it's UFO season again. That's right. We got 6. You guys, they're shooting down UFOs. Now, I don't know anything about anything, like I said. Are they balloons? Somebody said, they've been here for a long time. There's just things that aren't adding up. Now, I'm going to play a couple of clips on this show from some people who have some pretty good ideas about what they are, where they've come from, how long they've been here, and et cetera, et cetera. But I can walk from here to Canada in 4 or 5 days. Why can they not recover any of it? And what they're saying is they can't give you an explanation of what they recovered until they recovered every piece of it. Because without every piece, they couldn't give you a proper explanation. Listen, if I hit a minivan full of a family of 4 and I couldn't find the taillight, I'd still know that I hit a minivan with a family of 4 in it. I'd still know that. You guys know what it is. I don't know what it is, but it ain't a hot air balloon. Because the Pentagon even said, I'm not saying it's a hot air balloon. And if it was a hot air balloon, it must have been inside the unit because that's not what we observed. So,
could just be balloons tied to some commercial or benign purpose.
They are considering or looking at this to be potentially benign. But of course, we want to make sure that we get the objects so we can get a sense of what the objects were for certain.
The kind of explanation that did not sit well with some on Capitol Hill after a closed-door briefing.
Listen, it's not sitting well with me, and I barely graduated high school. I can tell when people are lying to me. And if you're telling me that the last answer I'm supposed to accept as truth is the government or the White House or this dude, I'm not having it. Anyway, so let's back it up before I play the fucking jam of the show. Sorry, YouTube, I'm saying the F word. You guys noticed on the last show, we had like 43 views on YouTube because YouTube decided to shmush me to the back. Because number one, I started out by swearing, but that was the song, and I just wanted to wake people up. And number two, I was smoking pot right away. I got a couple of... Anyway, my language in the last show was not fitting for YouTube, apparently. So we're really going to clean it up this episode. We're going to just stick with normal things like talking about aliens.
That first balloon, the one that we are certain was from China,
right.
It was very large.
3 buses or
yeah, something like that in length. And just the idea that we should feel threatened by something that is large and slow moving, that you can pop.
No. Because the pilot said, one of the pilots said it was smaller than a car. And it can maneuver unlike any aircraft it's ever seen. And then Neil deGrasse Tyson is saying, well, it's just a floating bus in the sky. In the description below, I put a link to Rogan's podcast or his interview with the pilot who saw the crafts outside of a military training area or whatever. You guys go watch the interview. It's in the description below. But he states that, just like Biden stated, we back up. I'm all over the map with this. I'm shot out of a cannon because I want to meet one of them. Biden and everybody, and even people high up in the military have stated that number one, these things have always been there, but because of our newly upgraded radar systems that we're now able to detect them, So go down below, watch the interview after this podcast, because I'm giving you the hard-hitting news better than anyone can. Ro Jogan, I'm not even, come on, guys. He looks like a thumb. But anyway, they were there all the time, and they were just able to now see them because of the new upgraded radar system that the military has put into everything. So
I don't know. I'm more casual about this.
You make me feel better.
Maybe I should be.
You make me feel better because, you know, John Bolton was on, Ambassador John Bolton earlier was on.
I caught that
Use a
yes.
nuclear, you know, use it as a nuclear, you know, delivery system. So but I guess the separate part from this is the U.S.-China space race. I know here we're talking near space, right? We're sort of in that in the middle.
Who's going to control the new high ground?
Right.
Yeah.
And so the space.
All right, Neil deGrasse Tyson. I ain't listening to you anymore. You're a pretty fart smeller, but still, all I'm doing is playing you the news and letting you decipher it. So here we go. This is the fourth one within 8 days.
Casey Baylor is here now to tell us what U.S. and other country officials are making of all of this.
Well, Dan, Ashley, this time President Joe Biden directed the U.S. military aircraft to shoot down the object over Lake Huron near the Michigan and Canadian border. It was first detected Saturday night over Montana. Now, a senior official says the octagonal object with strings flew rather low compared to the other objects we saw at about 20,000 feet. The Federal Aviation Administration temporarily closed airspace above Biden, directed down the object over Lake Huron near the Michigan.
She said it had strings. Why ain't they pulling it down? Why are they blowing it into a million pieces? Why don't they pull it down and see if there's some guy, Craig, hanging out inside of the thing? Speaking of that, on the phone right now, I just got word. Hang on. The phone lines are buzzing right now. Hang on. Javier, pick it up. We'll go to line 2. Yeah, line dos, Dick. He's such a dick. Line dos. Go to it now. All right, hold on. I'm putting it up right now. You said he's on the phone. I'm not going to put it up unless he's actually on the phone. All right. There it is. On the phone right now. On the phone. Go ahead. Wait, that guy already called in the beginning of the show. Let's go to a different one. Line 2. Go ahead. Nope, not that one. They already called in. Let's get out of that. All right, anyway, back to what I was saying. Where are all the pieces at? If I ran into a car and they couldn't find one of the pieces, the cops wouldn't just go, well, he didn't really hit a car then. That's not a complete car. We got to gather all the pieces. Then we know it's a car. Right now, he hit nothing. He hit a UFO, a UDO, unidentified driving object. I don't know what that thing is. It's missing a headlight. Oh, it's a car. Where are all the pieces? I don't get it. Look at the lights in this podcast. I really need to get to the beach stat. Let's get back into this, you guys. Just a couple more news stories. I'm not going to listen to that lady tell her version of it. Here's what I am going to play. The Piloits, go.
Interesting. This is kind of unusual that these pilots saw different things, and that is sort of, I guess, adding to the mystery of all this.
Yeah, not even the pilots apparently were really able to identify what they saw. And just to take you back for a sec, on Thursday, the U.S. defense officials sent F-35 fighter jets up to try to figure out what this object was that was flying around near Alaska. Those pilots, we have learned, have given very conflicting accounts of what they actually experienced, with some pilots saying that the object interfered with the plane's sensors, other pilots saying that they didn't really experience that, other pilots saying that when they looked at the object, they could identify no identifiable propulsion system, and they did not know how it was actually staying in the air, cruising at that altitude of about 40,000 feet. So this has all added to the Pentagon's wariness of describing in more detail what this object actually is until they can get more information through the debris that they are recovering right now.
And I just want to remind you again, most of this news that I'm giving you is coming from an average C student. I'm begging you to go ahead and Google this. Try to find as many stories as you want, as you can. and make your own conclusion. Is it a hot air balloon? Because I know there's a ton of hot air balloons flying around out there with satellite interference capabilities. You know, those satellites and those balloons that have zero on board, no propulsion systems, no electronics, no nothing is what they've stated so far, because what they're saying is that the debris that they found just didn't have any in it. Now, one of the pilots stated that one of the maneuvers that one of these objects made would have killed somebody if it was inside of it, just because of the sheer G-forces alone would have made your guts come out your asshole and put against the inside of the gravitron. So what's flying it? Who's flying it? Where's it coming from? How long have they been here? The first guy, again, in the interview that's down below, he stated that they've been here since 2014, but they've been here forever. They've been here forever. Speaking of that, we're all wound up today, you guys. I'm on my 11th cup of coffee. It's going fantastic. Let's get out of that. Let's go into this. Let's play you guys a little music right in the beginning of the middle of the show, like I like to do. Listen, it's Sunday night. Just start dancing a little bit. We're going to do a remix. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Sunday on Fox, just after The Simpsons. It's your favorite show to watch as you spoon your girlfriend. The X-Files.
Scully.
Mulder. They're 87 years young. Speed's not on their side. Dance. Calm down, Mulder. Calm down, Scully. Calm down, smoking man. All right. So again, you guys make your own decisions. You know, a lot of times in podcasts, you're supposed to circle back around, make a point, and teach people something. Do I look like that guy? I'm just going to throw a bunch of shit out there, and then you make up your own decision. I don't know. I'm at work just like you are. I barely watch the news. But here's the bigger picture. What do you really know about the train crash in East Palestine, Ohio? What do you know about that? What do you know about the horrible environmental effects? And it's a disaster. It's bigger than the Gulf spill. What do you know about that? Probably nothing either. Nothing. You don't know any. You pay attention to that just as much as you paid attention to all the alien shit, because you've already been convinced by the first one that it's a balloon. It's all fucking smoke and mirrors. You guys got distracted by Rihanna, and is she pregnant? Oh my God, she lip synced and then she told it. You guys are distracted by too much shit. So am I. I'm not claiming to be anybody or any smarter than you guys. I'm just starting to get caught up, and I'm like, wait a second. I know bad movies and bullshitters. These guys sound like bullshitters in bad movies. So, this is just the first time in America's history that on the news, weekly, daily, 5 to 35 times a day, they're telling you stories about how the U.S. and the government and the Pentagon and the Air Force have shot down UFOs. Until one day you're going, "Hey, did you hear they got a big UFO today? I think it was black. The guy said it had lasers coming out. Took out a whole neighborhood over behind the John Deere plant. Did. Came zooming over cornfields. They got him, though. 2 little green fuckers." That's what's going to happen. You guys are just becoming desensitized. And look, I've been a believer in aliens since I was like in the 3rd grade. One of my teachers, Miss Monorano, asked us about aliens. And I said, I think they've been here forever because, Miss Monorano, what are the chances of aliens not hitting the water and coming here, seeing as how most of the earth is made up of water? Wouldn't they have hit the water? And aren't they here? Wouldn't they know? We've only been here for a speck of time. Aren't we the visitors? So I quickly got made fun of, and I've always thought different. I just want to meet one of these little guys. I'm going to name him Fred. He can move in the guest bedroom. It's going to be great. No, I don't know you guys. Let's get out of that and be professional here. Over to you guys at the fish desk. What's going on? All right. Back over to the main cam. So again, I'm just going to play what he said real quick, just so you guys can get a grasp on who's in charge of all of this real quick. Go ahead. Come on in here, Skippy.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Ooh, you're out of breath.
Last week, in the immediate aftermath of the incursion by China's high-altitude balloon,
yes,
our military, through the North American Aerospace Defense Command, so-called NORAD, closely scrutinized our airspace, including enhancing our radar to pick up more slow-moving objects above our country, around the world. Yeah. In doing so, they tracked 3 unidentified objects, one in Alaska, Canada, and over Lake Huron in the Midwest. They acted in accordance with established parameters for determining how to deal with unidentified aerial objects in U.S. airspace. At their recommendation, I gave the order to take down these 3 objects due to hazards to civilian commercial air traffic and because we could not rule out the surveillance risk of sensitive facilities. We acted in consultation with the Canadian government.
It went over 8.
I spoke personally with Prime Minister Trudeau and from Canada on Saturday.
Handsome fellow.
And just as critically, we acted out of an abundance of caution and an opportunity that allowed us to take down these objects safely.
Right.
Our military and the Canadian military are seeking to recover the debris so we can learn more about these 3 objects. Our intelligence community is still assessing all 3 incidences. They're reporting to me daily and will continue their urgent efforts to do so, and I will communicate that to the Congress. We don't yet know exactly what these 3 objects were, but nothing right now suggests they were related to China's spy balloon program or that they were surveillance vehicles from any other country. The intelligence community's current assessment is that these 3 objects were most likely balloons tied to private companies, recreation, or research institutions studying weather or conducting other scientific research. When I came into office, I instructed our intelligence community to take a broad look at the phenomenon of unidentified aerial objects. We know that a range of entities, including countries, companies, and research organizations, operate objects at altitudes for purposes that are not nefarious, including legitimate scientific research. I want to be clear. We don't have any evidence that there has been a sudden increase in the number of objects in the sky. We're now just seeing more of them, partially because the steps we've taken to increase our radars, to narrow our radars. And we have to keep adapting our approach to dealing with these challenges. That's why I've directed my team to come back to me with sharper rules for how we will deal with these unidentified objects moving forward, distinguishing between those that are likely to pose safety and security risks that necessitate action and those that do not. But make no mistake, if any object presents a threat to the safety and security of the American people, I will take it down.
Oh, he's going to take it down. He's going to fucking karate chop it, get in there. All right, now let's listen to the other Jamoki Moke. Ready? but I made it a little more interesting. And go.
Now on the briefing that we just received, we are learning more and more about these 4 objects by the hour. U.S. and Canadian forces are working to recover the objects that were shot down. In the briefing, the military and intelligence people outlined their approach to each of the 4 objects. What I can say after our briefing is that our defense and intelligence agencies are focused like a laser on gathering every piece of information about these objects to figure out exactly what's happening.
I knew you guys were coming.
What we saw over the weekend is that if they see anything that is a threat to America or the American people, they will take appropriate action. And they made clear that Americans are in no physical harm on the ground from any of these objects.
Take me with
The military and intelligence agencies are working around the clock to come up with a more comprehensive picture of what is happening. And as they recover more evidence, the picture will be filled in a careful, thoughtful, but decisive way. The administration is carefully evaluating each, as I said, each of the 4 objects as they happen. And I believe they've taken the right approach on each of the 4 objects.
I need you to send a message to the other sites.
I want to go with him so bad. I got a backpack right here, Nduku. What's your name? I'll go with. I'm going to call you Craig, Mr. Alien. Just cause.
I don't understand. What?
Fish, are you all right?
What's your purpose here?
Don't be afraid, guys. Mr. Bungle, you'll be all right. You too, Finley. Cheeto, I'm not so sure about you. They're probably going to eat you first. You look delicious. Oh, shit. Guys. I hope you make peace with your maker. You guys, I hope you guys are... I don't know if most of you guys are religious people. All right. Again, I don't know if you guys are religious people or not. There's just too many versions of this story. There's too many people saying too many things, and I don't believe any of them. But back to what I said before. I urge you guys to go online and try to figure out as much as you can about that train crash, the derailment. Biden's fucking responsible for all of that. Biden is responsible for every person who's sick in that town. They asked for reform. They asked for so many other things. They asked for more money. They were telling them 7 weeks before this happened that it was going to happen. So all the UFO stuff and everything that you're seeing really is just to distract the shit out of you from something that's honestly going to affect you in the near future. And if you don't know about it, learn about it. Go and see how you guys can honestly help. I'm not joking. It's one of the biggest disasters in America's history. And there, apparently it was the decision of a local sheriff to burn all of those chemicals that then turned into airborne hydrochloric acid, which causes death, cancer, all kinds of stuff. It lasts forever in the ground, in the air, in everything. So the devastating effects that that's going to have is really the reason of all this UFO shit. Probably the reason that I did this show. Don't pay attention to that stuff in Ohio. And they're calling it East Palestine just because they don't want to call it East Palestine. Just in case you guys are, again, watching the news and you're like, oh, there was a train crash over in Palestine. I don't give a shit about those guys. It was in Ohio, and it's in your backyard, and it's in your country now, so be aware. But more importantly, this is the CannaShow. We're just all about fucking laughs and fun here. And as we continue on in this strange world, I can only hope that the aliens that are here, they've now figured out that I'm just as weird as one of them. I've been called the R word numerous times this week. I had to tell them I'm not R-worded, I'm just creative. So as you go to work this week and wonder, am I going to be able to make ends meet? Am I going to be able to pay the phone bill? I gotta be able to make my favorite Chef Boyardee. Don't worry about it. Because the aliens are here now. We're all fucked anyway. Just joking. What if I felt like that? No, if they are here, please take me with you. I got nowhere to be ever. I don't really have that many people that are gonna miss me. I could play cards, a hell of a cook. I could fix anything except a broken heart and the economy. My name is Raymond Vernon Pardon III, and I do a podcast on YouTube, all by myself. Well, with Javier over here. Speaking of Javier, he's my own little alien. Aren't you, buddy? All right, you guys have a great work week. Remember, if someone pisses you off this week, or you can't pay a bill, or your boss is a jerk, just be like, the aliens are here. Who cares anyway? All right, this has been the CannaShow.